balancing Dharma, Artha and Kama. This is an extract from chapter 167 of the Shanti Parva of the ancient Indian epic, the Mahabharat, where the Pandavas and Vidur discuss the relative merits of the three basic purusharthas or objects of human pursuit, namely Dharma, that is virtue or righteousness, Artha, that is wealth or prosperity, and Kama, which is desire or pleasure, and also finally discusses the fourth purushartha, that is Moksha or liberation. The king Yudhishthir, addressing his brothers along with Vidur, said, "The course of the world rests upon Dharma, that is virtue, Artha, that is wealth, and Kama, which is pleasure. Among these three, which is the foremost, which the second, and which the least important? Upon which of the three should the mind be fixed in order to gain over all the three? It suits you well to cheerfully answer this question in truthful words." Thus addressed by the Kuru chief Vidur, who was conversant with the science of economics, with the course of the world, with truth that concerns the real nature of things, and possessed of great brilliancy of intellect, first spoke these words after recollecting the contents of the scriptures. Vidur said, "Study of the various scriptures, austerities, donations, faith, performance of sacrifices, forgiveness, sincerity of character, compassion, truth, self-restraint, these constitute the riches of self. Therefore, you should try to achieve them. Never let your heart turn away from it. Both Dharma or virtue and Artha or wealth have their roots in these. I think that all these are capable of being included in one term, Dharma. It is by Dharma that the rishis, that is sages, have crossed the world with all its difficulties. It is upon Dharma that all the worlds depend for their existence. It is by Dharma that the gods attained to their position of superiority. It is upon Dharma that prosperity or wealth rests. Dharma, O king, is the foremost in point of merit. Arth is said to be middling, and Kam, that is desire or pleasure, it is said by the wise, is the lowest of the three. For this reason, one should live with a restrained soul, giving his utmost attention to Dharma. One should also behave towards all creatures as he would towards himself." Vaishampayan continued, after Vidur had finished what he had to say, Pratha's son Arjun, well skilled in the science of Artha and also conversant with the truths of both Dharma and Artha, urged on by the drift of Yudhishthir's question, said these words. Arjun said, "This world, O king, is the field of action. Action, therefore, is applauded here. Agriculture, trade, maintenance of cattle, and diverse kinds of arts constitute what is called Artha. Artha, again, is the result of all such acts. Without Artha, both Dharma and Kam cannot be one. This is the declaration of the scriptures. People possessed of diverse kinds of wealth are able to perform the highest acts of virtue and gratify desires that are apparently difficult of being gratified. The scriptures say that virtue and desire are the limbs of wealth only. With the acquisition of wealth, both virtue and the objects of desire may be one. Like all creatures worship Brahma, even persons of superior birth worship a man possessed of wealth. Even those attired in deer skins and wear matted locks on their heads, that are self-restrained, that smear their bodies with mud, who have their senses under complete control, even they who have bald heads and that are devoted brahmacharis, and who live separated from one another, cherish a desire for wealth. Others, attired in yellow robes, bearing long beards, graced with modesty, possessed of learning, contented, and free from all attachment, are also seen to become desirous of wealth. Others, following the practices of their ancestors and observant of their respective duties, and others desirous of heaven, do the same. Believers and unbelievers, and those that are rigid practitioners of the highest yoga, all certify to the excellence of wealth. Knowing the prime importance of wealth is brightness, not knowing its importance is dark ignorance. He who cherishes his dependents with objects of enjoyment and afflicts his foes with punishments is said to be truly possessed of wealth. This, O foremost of intelligent men, is truly my opinion. Listen, however, now to these two, that is Nakul and Sahadev, who are about to speak. Vaishampayan continued, after Arjun had ceased, the two sons of Madri, that is Nakul and Sahadev, said these words of great meaning. Nakul and Sahadev said, sitting or lying, walking or standing, one should strive for the acquisition of wealth even by the most vigorous of means. If wealth, which is difficult to acquire and highly agreeable, is earned, the person that has earned it without doubt is seen to obtain all the objects of desire. That wealth which is connected to virtue, as also that virtue which is connected to wealth, is certainly like nectar. For this reason, our opinions are as follows. A person without wealth cannot gratify any desire. Similarly, there can be no wealth in one who is destitute of virtue. He, therefore, who is devoid of wealth based on virtue is an object of uneasiness for everyone. For this reason, one should seek the acquisition of wealth with a devoted mind without disregarding the requirements of virtue. They who believe in the wisdom of this saying succeed in acquiring whatever they desire. One should first practice virtue, next acquire wealth without sacrificing virtue, and then seek the gratification of desire, for this should be the last act of one who has been successful in acquiring wealth. Vaishampayan continued, the twin sons of the Ashwins, after having said these words, remained silent. Then Bhimasen began to say the following. Bhimasen said, one without desire never wishes for wealth. One without desire never wishes for virtue. One who is destitute of desire can never feel any wish. For this reason, kama or desire is the foremost of all the three. It is under the influence of desire that the very rishis devote themselves to penances, surviving on fruits or living upon roots or only air. Others, possessed of Vedic lore, are engaged upon the Vedas and their branches, or upon rites of faith and sacrificial acts, or upon making donations or accepting them. Traders, agriculturists, keepers of cattle, artists and artisans, and those who are employed in rites of priesthood all act from desire. There are some that dive unto the depths of the ocean induced by desire. Desire, indeed, takes various forms. Everything is pervaded by the principle of desire. A man outside the span of desire never is, was, or will be seen in this world. This, O king, is the truth. Both virtue and wealth are based upon desire. As butter represents the essence of curds, even so is desire the essence of wealth and virtue. Oil is better than oil seeds. Ghee, that is purified butter, is better than sour milk. Flowers and fruits are better than wood. Similarly, desire is better than virtue and wealth. As honeyed juice is extracted from flowers, so is desire said to be extracted from these two. Desire is the parent of virtue and wealth. Desire is the soul of these two. Without desire, the Brahmins would never give either sweets or wealth to Brahmins. Without desire, the diverse kinds of actions that are seen in the world would never have been seen. For these reasons, desire is seen to be the foremost of the triple aggregate. Approaching beautiful damsels attired in excellent robes, adorned with every ornament and intoxicated with sweet wines, you should sport with them. Desire, O king, should be the foremost of the three Vedas. Reflecting upon the question to its very roots, I have come to this conclusion. Do not hesitate to accept this conclusion, O son of Dharma. These words of mine are not of hollow import, filled with excellence, delicacy, essence as they are. They will be acceptable to all good men. Virtue, wealth, and desire should be equally attended to. That man who devotes himself to only one of them is certainly an inferior person. He is said to be middling who devotes himself to only two of them. He, on the other hand, is the best of his species who attends to all the three. Having said these words to those heroes in brief and also in detail, Bhim, possessed of wisdom, surrounded by friends, smeared with sandal paste, and adorned with excellent garlands and ornaments, remained silent. Then King Yudhishthir the Just, that foremost of virtuous men, possessed of great learning, properly reflecting for a while upon the words spoken by all of them, and thinking all those speeches, smiling, himself spoke as follows. Yudhishthir said, "Undoubtedly, all of you have reached definite conclusions based on your understanding of the scriptures, and all of you are also conversant with pramanas, that is, the branch of philosophy concerning theory of knowledge. I have heard these words filled with certainty that you have spoken. Listen now with concentrated attention to what I say to you. He who is neither involved in merit nor in sin, who does not attend to wealth or virtue or desire, who is above all faults, who regards gold and a brickbat with equal eyes, becomes liberated from pleasure and pain and the necessity of accomplishing his purposes. Those who remember the past events of their life and are troubled by the evil of old age, being repeatedly troubled by the diverse evils of life, applaud moksha or emancipation. We do not know, however, what moksha is. The self-born Brahma has said that there is no moksha for him who is bound with ties of attachment and affection. Only those who are possessed of knowledge seek nirvana or moksha. For this reason, the person desiring moksha should not involve himself in doing anything desirable or undesirable. This view seems to be the best. No one in this world can act as he pleases. I act precisely as I am made to act by some superior power. The great ordainer makes all creatures proceed according to his will. The ordainer is supreme. Know this, all of you. No one can, by his actions, obtain what is unobtainable. That which is destined takes place. Know this. And since he who has withdrawn himself from the triple aggregates of Dharma, Artha and Kam may succeed in winning moksha, it seems, therefore, that moksha provides the highest good. Vaishampayan continued, having listened to all these foremost words filled with reason and acceptable to the heart, Bhim and the others were filled with delight. and joining their hands, bowed to that prince of Kuru's race. Indeed, those foremost of men, O king, having heard that speech of the monarch, well adorned with sweet letters and syllables, acceptable to the heart and without any flaws, began to applaud Yudhishthir highly. The high-souled son of Dharma, possessed of great energy in return, praised his convinced listeners.